The types of questions that we ask ourselves on a daily basis can change our lives profoundly. We're going to jump right into that subject here in this video. It's Seth with Nature Affinity, bringing the joy in the heart of nature. Now, the types of questions we ask are so significant to our evolution. Now, let me give you an example from my own life. A lot of times when things would happen that weren't necessarily the best, I would ask myself a question, but I would do so from the negative side of things. I would say, well, why is this happening? Or something along those lines. Or why are they such a jerk? You know, somebody swerves in front of me in traffic or something like that. I would ask myself those types of questions, and it really wouldn't help me evolve or expand my thought process at all. Now, what you could ask instead, and what I've been asking myself, when somebody cuts in front of me in traffic or acts like a jerk, I ask myself, how did this come to be in my experience? Or what is this teaching me right now? Maybe it's teaching me to slow down a little bit. Maybe that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't going as fast as I was, perhaps. Let's put it, I think about it a little bit more of an upward spiral of thinking and questioning rather than a downward one. I think, well, what is this experience teaching me? What is this bringing to my attention? Or another one I ask myself is, what was I thinking before this occurred or brought me out of my thought process? Because often those types of experiences will snap you out of your thoughts. They'll snap you back to reality, into the present moment, right? So sometimes you're just driving along, for example, and you're just not really thinking or consciously there at all. You're thinking about whatever. It's really how you respond that makes all the difference. And that starts with the questions you ask. If you ask yourself a question like, what was I thinking about just now before this brought me back into the present moment? Then you're expanding, you're evolving. You're thinking about your thinking, which is so very important, to think about what you're thinking about. Because if you're just sitting there thinking, and then you never stop to think about what you're thinking about, then you can basically just stay in that same pattern day to day to day, and not really get anywhere. It's like you're spinning your wheels, so to speak. I find the best time to ask myself profound questions is right first thing in the morning. Maybe not right when you open your eyes. That might not be exactly the best time. But a lot of times what I'll do is I'll wake up, I'll meditate for 20 minutes, and then I'll just sit there and think, ask myself some questions. My favorite one every morning I ask myself is, what am I grateful for today? What am I grateful for today? So I start thinking about what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful to get out into the beautiful heart of nature here. Grateful to feel the sun shining when it shows up. We got all kinds of weather going on today. We got the sun, we got the rain, we got clouds rolling by. Got a little bit of snow happening around us as well. Not right in this spot, but it's around. It's all there. There's hail happening somewhere. It's all beautiful in one way or another. So think about that. What are you grateful for? If you, off the top of your head, you can come up with at least 3 things that you're grateful for, it's a really good place to start. to really evolve your thinking and your questioning. And you could even go deeper. Think about what you're grateful for, and then ask yourself, how am I grateful for this? Becoming more and more specific with your gratitude. Basic gratitude is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the more and more specific that you get with what you're grateful for in your questioning, the better. The more powerful that point of attraction is of your gratitude. Because an attitude of gratitude brings opportunities into your life. So every morning I ask myself that. What am I grateful for? Why am I grateful for it? And how am I implementing my gratitude every single day? I dive right into it. There's nothing surface level about this. It might start that way. You start with a surface level question. Just ask yourself this. Who can I count on? Who can I count on? If you yourself are not at the top of that list, then you really need to start asking yourself, why is that? Why can I not count on myself to really be consistent, for example, in this? Be consistent in an attitude of gratitude. Why can't that be consistent? If you don't have anybody else that you can count on, if you can count on yourself, that makes all the difference. You can dive right into it with that too. Now, why can't I list anybody that I feel that I can count on? Just really dive right into it and think about it. Think about how you think about the people in your life. Do you feel that they're trustworthy? Do you feel that you can trust yourself? Most of all. Because the relationship that you should be focusing on the very most is the one between yourself and yourself. If that is 100%, the relationship between you and you, if you can level that up, every other relationship in your life will also level up naturally. If you're tuned into yourself, you're not thinking less of yourself, but you're not full of yourself, but you're thinking of yourself. You're putting yourself as a priority, and you level up that relationship between you and yourself. Everything else in life naturally falls into place. Now, profound questions that you can ask relating to that, can I count on myself? When a question comes up that you're thinking about, and a lot of times, a lot of these snap questions will come up when something adverse is going on in your environment. A lot of questions are environment based, and they come up. Now the trick is to not react, you're responding when the questions come up. Like, for example, a lot of times in previous years something would happen and I would say, well, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? And now, if that question comes up for me now, I think, okay, how is this question serving my evolution? How is this question helping me to really see what this experience is teaching me? Because every experience is teaching us something. There's no experience that is wasted. There's always something to learn, and there's always some joy to be brought. Another one I ask, especially in an adverse situation, if you can ask this, then you're ahead of the game. Just think, how can I bring more joy to this moment right now? How can I bring more joy to this moment right now? Just really think about that. Master the art of the pause. That's how you really understand your own line of questioning, is you master that art of the pause instead of automatically responding and reacting to that question that you just asked, well, why is this happening to me? Or insert another question there if it resonates more for you. Ask yourself, how is this question serving me? And is there a way that I can bring more joy to this moment right now? Because in the here and now is where the power is at. Right now, in this very moment, it's a gift. That's why they call it the present. Start asking yourself profound questions early in the morning, before you even eat breakfast. An empty stomach, it brings clarity. A little bit of hunger adds focus. Sometimes you notice that you get a little unfocused when you eat a really hearty and good meal. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to focus on something like this, do so before you have a meal. Just think to yourself. Think about your thinking. What kind of questions do you ask yourself first thing in the morning? Do you even ask yourself a question first thing in the morning? If not, I really highly recommend that you try to at least ask yourself, what am I grateful for? It's a great place to start. Honestly, I couldn't have a day in my life where I'm not thinking about something that I'm grateful for. A lot of people are like, well, Seth, how do you always seem so joyful in life? And the fact is, I'm not always joyful in life, but I cultivate the joy in my life, and I milk it for all it's worth when it's there. I'm not joyful in every moment of every day. I'm always working towards bringing more joy in every moment based on the questions that I'm asking myself. Like, how can I bring more joy in this moment? It's a great question. Think about the questions that you're asking yourself, because those questions, they're like the framework for how you're thinking. Because most thoughts come to us from an environment base of how we're thinking in each given moment. We take a couple of steps to create that environment for our thoughts, so that our thoughts are heading in a particular direction. Then we have a little bit more a cohesive idea of how our day is going to be, as opposed to life just seeming like it's coming at us. It's not really that fun when life is just feeling like it's coming at you, is it? I've been there, done that for a long time. It's not very fun. That's another good question you could ask yourself. Just dig right into it. How can I add more fun to this moment? How can this experience be more fun? Whether you're driving down the highway, you're at work, you're at home, you're doing your taxes, whatever. How can this experience be more fun? And how can I add more joy to this experience? How can I be more grateful? Gratitude is such a powerful force. It's a force that brings amazing opportunities into our lives. It's gratitude. The more questions we ask ourselves around gratitude and shape how we're thinking around being grateful, the more opportunities naturally get magnetized into our lives. It's another beautiful day here in the heart of nature. Thank you for your time. If you like this content, consider subscribing to Nature Affinity. We'll have a new video out each week on a different subject, or perhaps an evolution of the same subject. It just all depends on what's happening at the moment, because the moment is a gift. Enjoy it. Peace.